Hey everyone, Tech Steve here. And one thing I didn't anticipate when I became a full-time content creator is that in order to connect with people, most time you don't use phone calls, you actually get on a conference call. So I started doing team meetings, I started doing Google Hangouts as well as Zoom, and I'm always online doing some type of call with someone. Now the thing I didn't anticipate is that the cameras built into all my computers really don't work that well. So when Ankerworks reached out to me to send me a couple of cameras, we have the B600 and the C200, I said, yeah, I'll make a video for you guys and show my audience what the differences are as far as the quality, sound, and stuff like that. So on this video, we're gonna do just that. So sit back and relax, and let's get started. So here we have the C200 by Anker, and I will tell you that it does have a 2K camera at 30 frames per second, has 2 microphones, it comes with a USB cable, and it also has autofocus. All right, let's go ahead and take it out of the box and see what it comes with. Looks like we have a quick start guide. We also get a USB cable, and one side of it is USB-C, you can see right there. And then we have the camera right here. So taking a closer look at this camera, you can see it does have the USB-C on the back. It also has a built-in mounting bracket, plus you can screw it to a tripod. And then on the front of it, we have the camera right there. And the great thing is, you can adjust it right here for privacy. Here we have the B600 video bar. Now some things I want to tell you guys about this camera is that it is a 2X camera. It has 4 microphones in it, has a built-in light and low distortion speakers. But let's go ahead and see what's inside. Inside the box, it's going to tell you where to download the software to get it up and running. And there's a pouch right here that has some paperwork in it, as well as a quick start guide, so you can get everything up and running. It includes a power supply, plus some different adapters for European and America. Over here, you have a USB-C to USB-C power cord. Now let's take a closer look at the B600 camera system. Now one thing you notice, it has this nice premium material around the back of it, and behind here is 2 speakers, so you get stereo sound. We have a USB input, and over here we have a USB-C input, and this will go over to your computer. You also have a power input that you plug in the provided cable, and on the side here you're going to find a button for your light. On this side you're going to find a button for muting your microphone. Now this base is fully adjustable, so you can find different ways to mount it on your monitor. Plus there's a thread pattern below, so you can even put it on a tripod if you like. Now this privacy cover is really great, so we're not using the cameras out of the way. But if you flip this open, you can see there's a light right there, and there's a slide control that you can use to adjust the intensity of it. Also, there's an array of microphones here at the bottom, and you can see that it does have a premium camera as well. So can't wait to get this on the computer so we can test it out. So this is the actual audio from the B600. I have decided not to use my other microphone to film this part of the video because I want to make sure you get the full experience. So here in front of me, I have 2 displays. This one is actually showing the camera. Over here, I have another screen that has a pure white light on it to give it a little bit more balance. And up here, I have a light that I use here in the studio. So that gives you an idea what kind of lighting that we're getting. In order to set this up, just go to the link that's in your paperwork. And there's 2 versions of the software. You can see that there's a PC version and there's a Mac version, and that's the one I'm using on this computer. And it shows you some settings that I'm going to go over in this video. Next, we're going to go over the software so you can understand how everything works. Here at the top, we have a device switch, so you can switch from multiple cameras if you need to. You also have a message center, and over here you have your settings. Under settings, you can choose your language. You can even factory reset and look at the software version. Plus, there's a location right here if you want to record your screen. This is going to give you the path of where the media is going to go. If you go back to the top, you can then log into your account, but it's not necessary to log into an account if you plan on just using it as a camera. Here at the bottom, this will make it full screen, and this will make it also shrink, so you could decide which option is going to work best for you. Now looking at the sidebar of here, you have different resolutions. This is in 360p, this is in 720p, this is in 1080p, and this is the 2K version. And the reason you might want to switch to those different resolutions is because if you have low internet speed and you're trying to cast your image, you want to make sure that you're actually going to get the clearest image. So by lowering the resolution, that's going to allow you to have a smaller file when it comes to streaming. Now, if you go over here, there's different angles you can choose as well. Right now I'm on 65 degrees, and then we have 78 degrees, 95 degrees, and this is a cool feature right here. It's called solo frame. And by doing this, the camera actually focuses where my face is. Is that pretty cool? All right, so back over here we have device information, and you can check for firmware. Let's put it back on 65. Now if we go to the next screen, you can control all your different colors. So let's say if I can raise the brightness, I can increase the sharpness, so you can make it really sharp. You can even increase the saturation and bring it down. And you do have what they call contrast ratio. So you can see it's getting brighter, and that's going to get a little bit darker. So you can also flip it. So if you have a monitor upside down, it allows you to flip as well. But let's go ahead and hit reset to put it back to factory. Now over here you have the light switch. So right now the light is turned off, and you can see how bright it is. But let me just lower it down just a little bit right here by lowering the brightness a little bit. And then we're going to go in and turn on the light. So right now it's at a really low brightness, and this is maximum brightness. And here it is again with the light turned off in the room. This is the lowest brightness, and this is the maximum brightness. So it does help out quite a bit overall. And you can also change the temperature. So right now I have it on a little bit more of the cool temperature, but you can see I can turn it warm. There's some different options right there. And you can also have it set up to automatic on, or you can have to adjust itself based off of the light in the room. So let's go ahead and reset that. Now I do have the C200, which we're going to switch over right now so you can see the difference in the quality between the B600 and the C200. I just went up to the top and hit device switch, and now we can select it. I will tell you that the C200 is really good camera overall, but you can see it's not as clear as the B600. And this is at 95 degrees. Let's go ahead and switch over to 65 degrees. You can see it gets really, really close. And one thing that I will tell you in comparison is that if you look at the light here in the background, it's not as clean as it was on the B600. But we can go in here and we can adjust some of the brightness, and it's not going to get as good a job as the B600, but I'm going to show you in a minute how it compares to the camera that's in the computer that I'm using to do this screen recording. It also has a white balance here at the bottom. And one thing I want to point out here is that it doesn't have that option to follow you as well. If we go over here to the audio, you have omnidirectional, or you do have directional pickup. So let's switch over to that. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So that's the difference in the audio. And one thing I want to show you is if we drop down to 360p, now that we switched to 360p, you can see that it's not as clear as the B600, but it is actually pretty good for the money. Now I'm going to switch over to my camera built into the computer I'm using to edit. So here's an example of the software in my Apple computer. I pulled up Photo Booth, and that's what you see right here. I didn't make any adjustments, but I can tilt the screen just a little bit like that to get a little bit better view, but the other cameras are picking up a little bit wider area, so you don't have to make those adjustments. The second thing is, to me, this looks a lot of bland. There's no controls over it. I can't zoom in or anything like that, so you can see why having an upgraded camera is going to definitely enhance any type of conference calls, or anytime you need to get online, it's going to make you look much crisper and sound much better. So I've been making a few calls to test these out in real time, and one thing I'll tell you, this B600, it's really nice. I mean, the camera, the privacy, that little slide control as far as to turn the light on, works really, really well. But if you're on a budget, the C200, you can see it's much better than my iMac Pro. I mean, this is crazy how well this performs over that camera. Plus, this one is actually a lot louder than both cameras. It's a lot more bassier, and I like the fact that you can do those adjustments with the microphone. But if you guys are interested in learning more about these, I'll leave all the links in the description like I always do. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks all for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!